Hey Pisces, so here we are with your reading, and this position here, the first position, is sort of to represent your earthly walk, and then this kind of just shows like you're, traveling up to where you're like in communion with your higher self, and then coming back down. So I guess it's kind of like your soul's journey. Okay, let's get started. This first card represents the spiritual issue that you're working through this month. Although you may not understand it now, everything happens for a reason. That's pretty straightforward. So, this usually comes up when we can't understand why we are losing some things, why some things are happening. But sometimes it even causes us to question whether or not there is a rhyme or reason to our existence, whether or not there is life after death, whether or not, there is such a thing as God, and whether or not, we are being watched out and taken care of, because how can bad things happen to good people, right? Well, this reading is from you to me as your mirror to reflect back to you. It's done in first person. The cards are first person, and it's from your soul, your higher self. And this message is from your higher self, giving you a gentle push of encouragement that your higher self is aware exactly of what you're going through right now, because it is your soul. Your higher self feels what you're feeling. Your higher self knows what you know, because it's your soul. It's just a small part of your soul that stayed behind on the other side to man the controls, right? To help navigate these waters. And even if it's on the other side, it's still your soul. So it's a gentle reminder that although you can't see the master plan, your higher self can, and knows why you are going through what you're going through. Okay. And how you can heal this on your day-to-day basis. I have become one of your guides. So what you can do, Pisces, is meditate and ask your higher self for guidance. Because again, who better to help you get through than yourself? Your higher self will give you wisdom and guidance and remind you of your own inner strength, remind you of your soul's gifts and talents. And it might sound like if you meditate and connect to your higher self, it might seem like new information or new guidance, or you're like, oh, well, yeah, that makes sense. But this is actually stuff that you're already aware of, your soul already knows. And so it's really just getting in touch with that part of you. So many of us, we talk about angels and archangels and our spirit guides. But it's almost like our higher self is forgotten and doesn't really get much acknowledgement. But this is saying that your higher self is also guiding you in this journey. So that is another resource for you to reach out and connect with, and to get wisdom and guidance from. Okay, so I want to bring one thing up. So keep in mind, just remember that there are a lot of guides, right? We have angels that guide us. There is Spirit, there is Holy Spirit, And when our loved ones here on earth pass away, they do continue to watch over us and guide us. But don't forget, like, they were human, right? They had their own flaws, and they haven't evolved to the point where they are, perfect or angelic or divine or even unconditional love in a sense, because whereas the creator, source, and angels are unconditional love, we are of a different fabric, if you will. We are learning still, in a sense. So when you are trying to get advice or guidance for your earthly journey, and you are asking, you're praying to your grandfather for assistance, just keep in mind that your grandfather still had his flaws and still didn't have everything figured out. And even though everything is with, love, they might not, our passed on relatives might not be the best source for guidance. And this is saying for you to reach out to your higher self, because your higher self is you and knows your blueprint and knows your start and end point and what you're supposed to be going through, and can offer some very good assistance and advice and wisdom, in addition to, or even as opposed to, some of our loved ones who've passed on. Okay. This next card represents the gift that is coming to you. You are never alone. This is kind of what I was talking to. Your higher self is another part of your soul. It is your soul. It's just your soul's kind of been split into another small part that is guiding you. And that's that lighthouse in that picture. Your higher self is trying to shine a light on your journey for you, to help you, because it knows that the waters that you're navigating right now are rocky. But you have to be able to open your eyes to see the light. What Spirit was just showing me is, like, imagine like you're on a boat, right? And you're in the middle of one of these huge, like, storms, and you're on the deck of the boat, and you're trying to steer and navigate, and it's just raining so hard, and there's so much wind that you're like squinting, trying to see, and it's at night. Sometimes it gets so violent that your eyes are shut, right? Because you don't want to get pelted with rain and wind and debris, that you're on the deck, but your eyes are shut. And because your eyes are shut, you're not able to look for guidance, and you don't see that shining beacon, because you're just trying to, like, hold on for dear life, right? You're holding on to the rails, and you're just waiting to ride out the storm with your eyes closed. But this is saying that there's an opportunity, and the gift is for you to open your eyes in the middle of that storm, in the middle of all of that chaos, and you will see the light. Once you open your eyes and you see or are looking for help, you will see that it's been there the whole time, that it's been on, that beacon has been shining the whole time. And that's the gift that is coming to you in the month of August, is to recognize that. Oh, sorry. And then this card here represents the challenge or opportunity. And it's sort of both here. To recognize that nothing you could have done or should have done would have changed the way anything occurred. What you're going through right now is part of that master blueprint. Whatever it is, whatever. So let's continue with that analogy I was just using, right? So you're on that deck of the boat and you're in the middle of a storm, and maybe you're beating yourself up thinking, if I would have paid better attention to the map, if I would have charted a different route, if I would have maybe hired more people to help me on this boat, if I would have more, helpers and not try to do this on my own. It doesn't matter. You need to release that guilt and that regret from within you, because the message is you are going to end up in this place anyways. You are supposed to be here. You're supposed to be in these rocky waters in the middle of this storm, because it's the only way you would know that there was a light, a beacon of hope, and it's the only way you would see it. You're probably thinking, what could I have done to make this easier, better, smoother? But the message here is, don't think that way, because if you were in the middle of a beautiful, smooth sailing sea, right, where the sun is on your skin and the wind is light and the waters are calm and still, you wouldn't be in need of this light. You wouldn't think that you needed the light. You wouldn't be looking for the light, because you wouldn't need it. You would think that you were, one, on your own, and two, capable of handling things on your own because it's so easy. So when things get violent and stormy, especially to the point of knocking us over the railing, and we're in fear of plunging into the cold depths of the sea, that's when we look for that beacon of light. That's when we look for help. That's when we dare to open our eyes in search of something stronger, greater, and outside of ourself. Which is why you are being asked to release yourself, because where you're at in life right now is right where you're supposed to be. What you're going through is what you're supposed to be experiencing. And it's hard enough to manage and to navigate without adding extra guilt and regret into the mix. This last card, Pisces, is your special guidance. Your higher self wants you to know that you are always going to be pointed in the right direction by your higher self. And this really speaks to kind of what I was saying earlier. When your loved ones pass on, yes, they do still love you and they are still wanting to guide you, but they don't have the whole picture. They are still seeing things from their soul's perspective, right? Your higher self, on the other hand, is you and wants the best for you and knows the direction that you're supposed to be heading in. They are privy. It's almost like it's secret information, right? Your blueprint, your soul's contract, your your ship's manifestation plans, right, and routes, that is all privy, like, between you and the divine, which would be, God, source, creator, and the angels. So whereas your loved ones don't know that whole plan, I mean, they might help you as best as they could, but they don't know everything. Whereas your higher self knows what you're supposed to be doing, where you're supposed to end up. And so the special guidance is a reminder that your higher self will always point you in the right direction. So listen to your soul. Take time to be still. Listen to your inner compass, because that will get you in the right direction. Okay, Pisces, let's do a quick recap. What you're working through in August is understanding that everything is happening for a reason. Bad things do happen to good people all the time. And this is for a particular outcome. It's pushing you in a direction that you need to be. On a physical, like earthly, tangible level. But it's also so that you can reach out to the divine. How you can heal whatever you're going through. Talk to your higher self. Meditate, with your higher self. Your higher self is part of your soul. Listen to your soul's urgings. The gift that's coming to you is that beacon of light, that ray of hope. You're going to feel that there is light at the end of the tunnel, that even in these stormy seas, there is someone watching out for you. Someone is manning that lighthouse to keep you off those rocks. And that's the divine and your higher self. Release yourself from any guilt, any regret that you could have or should have done things differently, because you're right where you're supposed to be. And if you had changed or done anything differently, it wouldn't have mattered, because the divine wants you to be somewhere, you're going to be there, no matter how much we struggle against it. And lastly, the special guidance is to know that you can trust your soul. You can trust your gut. You can trust your higher self, because it's you. It's all part of you. You're never going to be steered wrong.